All right, I'm Jared Henderson, and I'm going to be doing this informative speech on communication skills. All right. Have you ever heard that if you lack communication skills, it shortens your life expectancy? No, neither have I. Communication skills are a must in today's world. I'm a sales advisor at Best Buy, so communicating is pretty much what I do on a daily basis, whether that's, selling a TV, selling a laptop, everything revolves around people. And so I feel with being able to communicate, it allows me to branch into other people's world. And by also working at Best Buy, it gives me all different types of people, different races, different life situations, and it just teaches me how to interact with other people who may not share the same economical status as me, the same race as me, same beliefs. It just gives me a broad way for that as well. And considering the fields of work that I do want to pursue, being real estate and sports marketing management, that's a skill that I'm going to need. Even this experience here today, it allows me to be able to be in a room with people that I've never met before and still be able to have a conversation and be able to get the job done. So I'm sure we have all had experience with communication, whether that's a job or something we do in our leisure. That can be having family over for dinner or going out to hang out with friends. Communication is one of the most needed skills today. The biggest need for it is in the workforce, whether it's face-to-face meetings, Zoom calls. Communication is necessary to thrive in the world we live in today. So a point in time where communication was very vital to me was when the senior year, when I was on drumline. I was the captain of the drumline, and I was responsible for letting everybody know of upcoming events, itineraries, things like that. And so for us, keeping an open line of communication was really what helped us stay organized. So we had a group meet, we had an iMessage group chat, except for when we had an Android user, but anyway. But we were able to constantly communicate with one another and really build relationships off of just communicating. So even with that, I learned that just the simple reminders and the simple task, like just reminding people, allows you to build your communication skills. And so I have a few points from Harvard Professional Development that I wanted to share with you guys. So one, we want to be clear and be precise. So when you're in a meeting or say you're with people that you always want to make sure that when you're giving them a point, you want to be exact on it. You don't want to sugarcoat it or try to narrow away from the main point at hand. You want to give it to them straight, even if it's harsh, because sometimes you gotta have the harsh. And so for example, if you're giving a presentation on cars and car maintenance, you have to have a knowledge of cars so you can possibly answer any questions there may be, because if you don't, then what good are you to any conversation or to present to anyone? So number two, we're looking at being prepared. Prepare ahead of time, actually. Being prepared means looking over your things, preparing your mind, and having a high level of knowledge on your subject. For example, let's say my mom's a teacher, and for the longest she's always been a teacher. So I've seen countless amount of summers, school years where she was preparing lesson plans, whether that's for herself in the classroom or for other teachers that she's in charge of now. So that was her doing her preparation to make sure that everyone else was prepared and ready for the task at hand. So number three, we want to be mindful of nonverbal communication. So I feel like that one's very, very important. So right now in this room, based on your body language, I can tell you guys are all actively engaged in what I'm saying. So that's something like, if you guys weren't sitting like that, I'd probably sit down. But but just being able to know the body language of those around you. And it also goes from, like, let's say you have a coworker or a friend. If you realize someone's having an off day or not in the best mood, check on them, because nonverbal signs are just as important as the verbal ones. You checking on them allows you to build your ability to sympathize with them as well. So number four, we want to watch the tone and be effective and precise. Your tone is a big part of having a conversation with people or a group of people. If you sound dead and unenthusiastic, how do you think your audience is going to feel? So, quick answer, your speech is not going to be very effective because 9 times out of 10 they weren't listening, or they just heard you, they didn't really listen to you. So 5, actually just a piggyback off of number 4, off of listening. So 5, you want to practice being an active listener. Listening is very, very important, regardless if someone's talking about something you truly don't care about, but actually listening to them is different than just hearing them. Because you guys can physically hear me right now. It doesn't mean you're locked in and engaging and thinking about the things that I'm saying. And so, for example, let's see, if someone came to you with a problem, you being an active listener makes you someone that they want to go to. And so they feel like even going to you, it allows you to listen and give them the best possible advice. And so an example of that, let's just say you're going to counseling. So counselors, nobody goes to a counselor just to hear them talk. 9 times out of 10, you go to a counselor because you want to be heard and you want them to interpret and understand what you're saying, as well as give you some helpful advice along the way. Number 6, you want to build your emotional intelligence. For me, that's being able to understand my own personal emotions, which allows me to understand everyone else's emotions that they're going through. So as a communicator, you can't always just be thinking like, just give it to them the meanest way possible. Sometimes in certain situations, you do have to, tag into your emotional side and be able to display some sort of emotion and feeling instead of just giving them facts. And so there's 5 different characteristics of that. We have one that's self-awareness, which is being aware of your own emotions, self-regulation, regulating your emotions, motivation, what motivates you to have the conversation or what motivates you to be present in the moment, empathy, being able to feel for someone based on their emotions, and last, to have social skills, you being able to speak in front of them, being comfortable and making the environment welcoming and wanting them to speak, builds those social skills as well. Number 7, you want to develop a workplace or environment strategy. This point is about how you set the tone for your workplace. How do you effectively communicate with those around you? Are you harsh and nice? Are you nice? How do you create a positive and efficient environment that makes everyone in it comfortable and gives them the best opportunity to thrive? So number 8, you want to create a positive organizational culture. What are your values? This one also ties into point 7. You're responsible for making sure that your workplace / environment or organization is a comfortable place for your employees, friends, or people that you're working with. It's your job to create that environment and to uphold it. And some key facts that I wanted to leave you guys with. 1, you cannot not communicate. No matter what you participate in, no matter the job, everything requires communication. It goes from school teacher to bus driver to sales advisors. Everyone has to communicate with someone. Everybody has a boss, so you ultimately do have to communicate. 2, the words that you say are only a small part of the message. Like for me, you could say everything in the world that you want, but if you don't show the emotion, if you don't show that you care, or if your tone is bad, then the message is pretty much all for nothing. Number 3, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Your tone and attitude reflects how you want the audience to portray you. Number 4, you establish trust by being authentic. So for me, that means being who I am at all times around whomever, because people enjoy authentic personalities, because it's truly rare nowadays to meet someone who's the same everywhere that they go. Number 5, most importantly, people appreciate you for being clear in your statements. So when you use that sympathy and use that to relate to people, and building all this up with these communication skills, it allows for you to be more clear in your statements and interactions with other people. And so overall, communication skills are a must-have in today's world. We must use them in order to thrive. We must use them in order to work with other people, which is what the world is revolved around, which is people.